Hello, welcome back to Al School Virtual Learning. Reading Grade 5, Unit 3, Lesson 3, Mahalia Jackson. Question of the week: how an artist uses music to inspire others? You can say these answers: powerful sounds, working together, recordings, to learn. In these ways, an artist can inspire others. Comprehension skill on pages 390 and 391. Main idea and details. The main idea is the most important idea about a topic. Sometimes the author tells you the main idea, sometimes you must figure it out for yourself. Supporting details tell more about the main idea. There is an activity on page 211 in your RWN. Read it, then find the answers for the following questions. Then check your findings with these correct answers. Mahalia Jackson, written by Julius Lester, illustrated by Lisa Cohen. Genre: expository text. In this selection, the author is talking to his granddaughter. He wants her to know about a kind of music that he loves, the blues. First, he explains that the blues is not just a feeling, it's a kind of music. Then he tells her about a great singer who knew all about the blues. The blues. The blues has deep roots in American history, particularly African American history. The blues originated on southern plantations in the 19th century. Its inventors were slaves, ex-slaves, and the descendants of slaves. The blues grew up in the Mississippi Delta just upriver from New Orleans, the birthplace of jazz. Blues and jazz have always influenced each other, and they still interact in countless ways today. During the middle to late 1800s, the Deep South was home to hundreds of seminal bluesmen who helped shape the music. Unfortunately, much of this original music followed these sharecroppers to their graves, but the legacy of these earliest blues pioneers can still be heard in 1920s and 30s recordings from Mississippi, Louisiana, Texas, Georgia, and other southern states. This music is not very far removed from the field horrors and work songs of the slaves and sharecroppers. Summary: born on October 26, 1911 in New Orleans, Louisiana, Mahalia Jackson started singing as a child at Mount Moriah Baptist Church and went on to become one of the most revered gospel figures in the United States. Her recordings of "Move On Up a Little Higher" was a major hit, and she subsequently became an international figure for music lovers from a variety of backgrounds. She worked with artists like Duke Ellington and Thomas A. Dorsey, and also sang at the 1963 March on Washington at the request of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. She died on January 27, 1972. She became one of gospel music's all-time greats, known for her rich, powerful voice that cultivated a global following. The young Mahalia grew up in a Pitt Street shack and started singing at 4 years old in the Mount Moriah Baptist Church. After moving to Chicago as a teen with the aim of studying nursing, Mahalia Jackson joined the Greater Salem Baptist Church and soon became a member of the Johnson Gospel Singers. She performed with the group for a number of years. Jackson then started working with Thomas A. Dorsey, a gospel composer. The tour performed around the US, further cultivating an audience for Jackson. She also took on a number of jobs, working as a laundress, beautician, and flower shop owner, for example, before her musical career went into the stratosphere. While she made some recordings in the 1930s, Mahalia Jackson tasted major success with Move On Up a Little Higher in 1947, which sold millions of copies and became the highest selling gospel single in history. Jackson also had a successful 1952 tour abroad in Europe, and she was especially popular in France and Norway. Jackson was also an active supporter of the civil rights movement. She sang at the March on Washington at the request of her friend Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. in 1963, performing I've Been Buked and I've Been Scorned. In 1966, she published her autobiography, Moving On Up. After King's death in 1968, Jackson sang at his funeral and then largely withdrew from public political activities. In her later years, Mahalia Jackson had several hospitalizations for severe health problems, giving her final concert in 1971 in Munich, Germany. She died of a heart attack on January 27, 1972. Jackson is remembered and loved for her impassioned delivery, her deep commitment to spirituality, and her lasting inspiration to listeners of all faiths. Words to know in this lesson: appreciate, think highly of, recognize worth of. Barber, person whose business is cutting hair and shaving or trimming beards. Choir, group of singers who sing together, often in a church service. Released, published, performed, shown or sold. Religious, devoted to the belief, study and worship of God or gods. Slavery, custom of holding people as property of others. Teenager, person between 13 and 19 years old. Thank you.